Number 8. Adzuki Beans, the sweet red bean. A cooked cup carries about 17 grams of protein and 17 grams of fiber, and they are among the easiest beans on earth to digest. East Asia has grown them for well over 2,000 years, and Japan turns them into a sweet paste that fills everything from pancakes to festival cakes. They are one of the few beans treated as a pudding rather than a side dish. If beans have simply never agreed with you, if the bloating afterwards has been enough to put you off entirely, Adzuki are where to start again. They are smaller and lower in the particular sugars that cause trouble, and they cook without the long soak the big beans demand. A great many people who believe they cannot eat beans have only ever tried the 4 hardest ones. Traditional Chinese and Japanese medicine used Adzuki specifically for fluid retention and puffiness, and the bean is genuinely high in potassium, which does influence how the body handles sodium and water. Modern research on Adzuki is still early and mostly done in laboratories rather than in people, so the honest position is that the traditional use is well documented and the clinical evidence is thin. What is certain is the protein, fiber, and mineral content on the label. Simmer them for about 45 minutes with a strip of kombu seaweed, which softens the skins and adds minerals, then eat them savory with rice or lightly sweetened with a spoon of honey. They cost around $3 a pound, the priciest so far, but you use less. They grow like a bush bean and ripen quickly enough for a short summer. The next one is the bean that sprouts on your kitchen counter in 3 days. Number 10. Split peas, the self-thickening soup. A cooked cup delivers about 16 grams of protein and a remarkable 16 grams of fiber for around 30 cents, making this arguably the cheapest protein in this entire video. They are ordinary field peas, dried and mechanically split along their natural seam, which is why they need no soaking and collapse into a thick puree in under an hour. Split pea soup is one of the oldest recorded dishes in Europe, mentioned in Greek and Roman texts. If your energy falls off a cliff in the middle of the afternoon, the culprit is usually a lunch that was almost all fast carbohydrate with very little protein or fiber to slow it down. Split peas are the direct opposite, and a bowl at midday releases its energy over hours rather than minutes. Blood sugar swings hit harder after 50 because insulin sensitivity naturally declines, which makes the composition of lunch matter more than it did at 30. Legumes have one of the lowest glycemic responses of any carbohydrate food, and split peas sit at the very bottom of that range. Trials comparing legume-based meals with equivalent starch have consistently shown flatter blood sugar curves afterwards, and the effect carries into the following meal, an odd phenomenon researchers call the second meal effect. Practically, that means a bean lunch steadies your afternoon and your dinner. Simmer a cup of split peas in 4 cups of stock with a carrot and an onion for 50 minutes, and it thickens itself with no flour, no cream, and no blender. A pound bag is often under $1.50. Peas prefer cool weather and will grow in early spring where beans would rot in the cold ground. The next one carries a name older than most countries and a reputation for luck. Number 18. Lupin Beans, the bitter champion. And this is the one I promised you at the start. A cooked cup carries around 26 grams of protein, roughly half again what lentils deliver, with almost no starch at all. They are the seed of the lupin flower, the same tall spike that grows in ornamental borders, and Mediterranean and Andean cultures have eaten them for thousands of years. Roman soldiers were issued them, and Egyptian tombs contain them. If you are trying to hold your protein up while keeping starch down, no other bean comes close to this one. Lupins are around 40% protein and very low in digestible carbohydrate, which is a combination you normally have to buy in a tub of powder. For anyone managing blood sugar who is also trying to protect muscle, that combination is genuinely difficult to find in a whole food. There is a catch, and it is important. Wild and bitter lupin varieties contain alkaloids that are toxic if not removed, which is why traditional preparation involves days of soaking and repeated changes of water, sometimes in running streams or the sea. Modern sweet lupin varieties have been bred with far lower alkaloid levels, and commercially jarred lupins have already been processed and are safe. Never prepare bitter lupins from a garden packet without knowing exactly what you are doing. Buy them ready prepared in jars or vacuum packs from Italian, Portuguese, or Middle Eastern grocers, rinse the brine off, and eat them as they are with lemon and oregano, slipping each one out of its skin. They run about $3 a jar. Anyone with a peanut allergy should be cautious as lupin can cross-react. The next one takes the humblest bean of all and turns it into something you eat by the handful. Number 19. Roasted soy nuts, the crunchy handful. A cup carries around 30 grams of protein, which is more than a chicken breast, and a quarter-cup handful gives you 7 or 8 grams for about 20 cents. They are simply mature soybeans soaked and then dry roasted until crisp, and they have been a street snack across East Asia for generations. Almost nobody in the West thinks of the humble soybean as something you eat whole. If the gap between lunch and dinner is where your good intentions collapse, and a biscuit is what fills it, this is the swap that changes the arithmetic. A handful of soy nuts delivers as much protein as an egg with the same crunch as a crisp. Spreading protein across the day rather than loading it into dinner is one of the clearest findings in the research on muscle maintenance after 50. Soy is among the most studied foods on Earth, and the picture from large reviews is reassuring and mildly positive, with regular soy intake associated with modestly better cholesterol numbers. The isoflavones in soy are plant compounds that weakly resemble estrogen, which caused decades of concern. But the accumulated human evidence has not supported the fears, including for breast cancer survivors, according to major reviews. As always, if you have a hormone-sensitive condition, take that conversation to your doctor. Make them yourself by soaking dried soybeans overnight, patting them very dry, then roasting at 180 degrees for about 40 minutes until they rattle. Dried soybeans cost about $2 a pound, and ready roasted are around $4. Store them airtight or they go soft within days. And now the last one, which carries more protein than anything else on this list and comes with a vitamin your bones can barely get from anywhere else. Number 20. Natto, the strangest superfood, and this is the one I told you about at the beginning. A cup carries about 31 grams of protein, the highest figure in this video, and it is the single richest food source of vitamin K2 in the menaquinone 7 form that exists. It is whole soybeans fermented with a specific bacterium until they become sticky, stringy, and powerfully aromatic. Japan has eaten it for 1,000 years, and roughly half of Japanese people still eat it weekly. If you have been told your bone density is dropping and you are taking calcium without being sure it is going anywhere useful, vitamin K2 is the part of that story almost nobody mentions. K2 activates the proteins that direct calcium into bone rather than leaving it circulating in your arteries. Getting calcium is only half the job, and this is the food that addresses the other half. Vitamin K2 activates osteocalcin, the protein that binds calcium into the bone matrix, and matrix GLA protein, which helps keep calcium out of arterial walls. Japanese research has repeatedly found that regions with high natto consumption show better hip bone density and fewer fractures, and several trials of K2 supplementation in postmenopausal women have reported reduced bone loss. It is genuinely promising evidence, though observational findings can never fully separate one food from an entire way of living. Buy it frozen from any Japanese or Korean grocer for about $1 a pack, thaw it in the fridge overnight, then stir it hard for 30 seconds with the mustard and sauce sachets included, and eat it over hot rice. The smell is genuinely strong, and the texture takes most people 3 or 4 attempts. If you take warfarin, speak to your doctor first, because vitamin K directly affects how that medication works. It is the most difficult food on this list and, gram for gram, the most rewarding.